I'm Roy from Roy's Garage. Today I'm going to be working on a 2018 Toyota Sienna van. I'm going to show you how to replace the rear brake pads and rotors. These are the tools I'm going to be using today to do this job. A hood prop, rubber mallet, 3/8 ratchet, 14mm socket, 17mm socket, 14mm wrench, 17mm wrench, 10mm wrench, 2 different type flat tip screwdrivers, air gun, Caliper piston compressor, Phoenix brake flusher, penetrating oil, suction ball, anti-seize, ceramic grease, and a bottle of water with a hole on the top. These are the parts I'm going to be using today to do this job. Rear brake pads, rear rotors, .3 brake fluid. Okay, first we're going to be removing this rubber plug, loosening up the bleeder screw while the caliper is mounted. So we're going to be removing the caliper. There's 2 bolts, one here and one here. Removing the brake pads. Removing the caliper mount. There's 2 bolts, one here and one here. Removing the rotor. Right now it's stuck on the hub. With my rubber mallet, I'm going to be hammering the rotor. Going to be shooting some penetrating oil on my hub. Let it sit for a little while. So I'm going to be compressing this piston in using my compressor. Opening up the bleeder screw. Compress the piston in. And you want the brake fluid to come out. You don't want the brake fluid to go back up the hose into your master. Lock it up. Putting some anti-seize around my hub. Okay, so I'm going to be transferring this plug to this new rotor. So I'm going to be cleaning up the rotor with some brake clean, getting off all the oil. You notice this is a resurfaced rotor. If you don't have access to a resurfacing machine, just go out and buy brand new rotors. So now I'm going to be adjusting the emergency brake. First we're going to put this rotor on. Right now it's kind of loose. So I'm going to adjust the emergency brake. There's a star adjuster right here. You just turn it to expand the shoe. Wrong way. And just fit the rotor on the shoe. A little bit more tighter. A little too tight. back it off a little. Okay, that should be good. Okay, so I'm going to be lubricating the caliper mount, pulling out the pins, cleaning up the pins, putting some ceramic grease right up in here, lubricating my pins, lubricating my shims. I'm going to be using the old shims. If your old shims are good, just reuse it. Nothing wrong with reusing your old shims unless it's broken. Then there's brand new shims in the kit. A lot of times if you were to use the new shims, it doesn't fit good in the mount, then it wants to fall out. So as much as possible, try to reuse your old shims. Okay, so we're going to be installing the mount with 2 bolts. So I'm gonna be putting on new brake pads. If you notice the thickness between the old and the new, and what I'm gonna do is transfer this spring over to the new pad. They do come with new springs in the kit, you can use that, but if you reuse the old one, it fits better into the pad. I'm going to be putting on my pad. There's a spring that's going to go on the leading edge. So this rotor is spinning counterclockwise. So we're going to be putting this towards the bottom. Same as on the inside pad, the spring is going to go on the bottom. Putting a little ceramic grease on the back of this pad. Lubricating my caliper. Installing the caliper. There's 2 bolts, one here and one here. Okay, so now we're going to bleed the brakes. Okay, so I'm going to be removing the old brake fluid from the master cylinder. So it's located on the driver's side front, right in front of the driver. Just open up this flap. Remove this cover. There's a screen in here. Remove the screen. And suck out as much brake fluid as you can. Okay, so I'm gonna be flushing out the brake system with my Phoenix brake flusher. Okay, first we're gonna open up the bleeder screw, connecting my brake flusher. So now we're going to be pumping in fresh fluid. It's going to go through the caliper, through the hose up to the master. So we're going to be pumping about half a bottle per wheel, half of this bottle per wheel. Okay, removing the brake fluid again. Just suck out as much as you can. Filling up my reservoir with some brake fluid. Okay. Don't forget to put the screen back. Put the cover on. So I'm going to start up the vehicle. Okay, I'm going to be pumping the brake pedal up and down no more than halfway until I feel pressure. That feels good. So I'm going to be pressurizing the brake system using my hood prop. One side against the brake pedal, the other side against the seat. Opening up the bleeder screw, checking for air. That looks good. No air. Lock them up. So I'm going to be shooting down the bleeder with some water. The brake fluid is water soluble. Dry it up with my air gun. Now I'm going to pressurize the brake system for about 15-20 seconds. Hold it for about 15-20 seconds and we're going to be checking for leaks. So after 15-20 seconds, checking for leaks, everything looks dry. Put the rubber cap on and then you're good to go. So that's how you replace rear brake pads and rotors. If you have any questions, comment below. Make sure to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up and I see you in the next video. Aloha.